Good morning. Hello. So today we're doing a little bit more algebra. Really, one of the last topics, anyway. Algebra. We're looking at division equations, right? And I got 3 examples on the board again. Okay. So division equations are quite similar to multiplication equations, except it's division equations, right? For example, here. So here we have p divided by -4 equals -2, right? Now, we want to get the p by itself. We want to isolate that p. That's our first step, is isolating that p. In order to isolate that p, we need to get rid of this guy on the bottom, right? That -4. So here, right now, it's p divided by -4. That's what that is, p divided by -4. And so to get the p by itself, we need to do the inverse of dividing by -4. The inverse of dividing by -4 is to multiply. So we're going to multiply this side by -4. If we multiply this side by -4, we also need to multiply this side by -4, right? In general, I put division stuff on the bottom and multiplication stuff on the top, right? That's the way I do it. So -4 on top and -4 on the bottom, right? Those guys are going to cancel out because -4 divided by -4 is 1. So they've canceled out. And then I could rewrite, but once again, if you've done it beautifully, it's already very clear over here, right? So p is equal to -2 times -4. So after I've isolated p, right, and I've got p equals -2 times -4, all I have to do is calculate. The last step is to calculate. So here, negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 times 4 is 8. So that's my final answer, is +8, right? Here I've got a similar type question, right? T divided by -3. So t divided by -3 equals 0.08. Just to be clear, some times you'll see that decimal place very small. Just be aware of it, right? In my world, I put a 0 before the decimal, so it's even clearer. But just be aware that sometimes it's just a little dot, and that's a decimal. So decimal 0.8 equals t divided by -3. I want to get the t by itself. So I have to do the inverse of dividing by -3. What is the inverse of dividing by -3? Well, it's multiplying by -3. If I've multiplied this side by -3, then I've multiplied this side by -3 as well. Okay? So the -3 and the -3 on top, these two are going to once again cancel out. -3 divided by -3 is 1. And then t is equal to -3 times 0.08. Okay. A negative times a positive is a negative, and 3 times 0.08 is 0.24. Okay? So there you go. So there's our answer. T is equal to -0.24. So those two I want to call fairly straightforward. This one gets to be a little bit more weird. And we saw an example like this last time. It can show up in your division equations. Officially speaking, this is a multiplication equation, really, right? And we talked about this last time, that you can look at it like a multiplication equation, in which case you would want to divide both sides by 1/7, right? Dividing both sides by 1/7. Now, not a lot of people like to divide by a fraction. So instead of dividing this guy by a fraction, I want to consider this more like a division equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that n, and I'm going to put it over 1 to make it into a fraction, right? This is 1/7 times n, or 1/7 times n over 1. dividing by 1 doesn't change anything, right? I think they say it's like putting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. Is that what they say? I'm not a farmer. Okay, there we go. But we have 1/7 times n over 1. So then to determine what this means, we're going to take 1 times n, and that gives us n, right? And 7 times 1 gives you 7. So once I've done that, this weird-looking question becomes a normal division question, okay? N divided by 7 equals -3. I want to get the n by itself. So how do I do that? I want to multiply both sides by 7. Okay? Multiply both sides by 7 to get rid of that 7 on the bottom, right? So 7 divided by 7, cancel where you can. And again, I generally like to rewrite, but sometimes you don't have to. N is equal to, here it's very pretty already, -3 times 7. And you know that a negative times a positive is a negative, and 3 times 7 is 21. So n is equal to -21. As with fractions and as with integers, multiplying and dividing equations is much easier than adding and subtracting equations, I think. So I hope that you find this reasonably straightforward. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Be well.